Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, the voice of hardcore boxing. Today, I'm joined by John from London, and we're going to chat some boxing. How are you doing, John?
Very well, sir. Very, very well. Yourself?
I'm all right. Okay, then we'll go straight into it. What do you think about Sky Sports returning to the fold?
Returning to what?
Returning to the fold, coming back on the scene. Sky Sports.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing moving forward. I think they needed to. I mean, what do you think? What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, well, they took the time, didn't they? But I'm pleased that Hughie Fury's headlining and they've got him out. He's not fought in, 6-7 months, something like that. I've heard on grapevine that Hughie's going to be a pay-per-view star next year. So they're going to build him up to be a pay-per-view star at Sky. So I think that's good. He's a young heavyweight. He's not 27 yet. He's still 26. I think he's 27. Come on, sorry.
Yeah, if they could get him a good fight, and if he could prove himself at that level, I think why not? Star quality, not sure, but he's still young, as you said. It just depends on the opponents that they give him. If they give him good fights, he just needs a bit of personality. It just seems like he hasn't got that star quality, but he's a decent fighter and he's still got room to grow, and there's a lot of potential.
George Foreman never had a personality when he was coming through. Neither did Sonny Liston, but they did all right, didn't they?
But they had they had heavy hands. You can't. Their punching power did all the talking.
Yeah, Hughie's got heavy hands. He just doesn't let his right hand go as much as he should, in my opinion. But
I personally think Hughie's got one of the best jabs.
He's got a fantastic jab.
Yeah, he has. It reminds me of Larry Holmes. And I told Peter this. He reminds me of Larry Holmes. I'm not sure if he uses it enough. There's so much potential in Hughie. He just needs, as you say, just needs to let his hands go. He moves well.
You see, whatever I say about Hughie, people say, "Oh, Porky, you're biased." But I've seen him spar, I've seen him train, and he can punch. And like I said, he's coming into his own now. I know people keep saying that his dad keeps saying that all the time, but trust me, he's got a proper outfit behind him now, Sky, and you know they're going to be working with him closely and they're going to build him up. So I think that's good. I think it's good.
Absolutely, it is. I think Hughie needs to step up as well. As you said, sparring and the real fight, the transition is quite different. You know, there's a lot of fighters that in the gym, amazing, but when it comes to a real fight, gun shy. I think Hughie needs to step up now.
Yeah.
He needs to step up to that elite level now. It'd be interesting if we could see him with Dylan White. That's the fight that people want to see. That kind of level fights. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of fights that will make people say, okay, let's see what Hughie's got. And if Hughie could prove himself at that level, he's ready.
Yeah. He's
ready.
The Sky have made this Clarissa Shields fight. Savannah's just got this one on Sky next, and then she's got Clarissa Shields. So that fight were made in 7 days. Eddie couldn't make that in the last few years, could he?
That's interesting. 7 days.
Yeah. 7 days it took Sky to make the Clarissa Shields fight, but Eddie Hearn couldn't make it.
That would be a good fight.
Yeah. Do you see a shift in power now? For example, you're getting a lot of people now who signed with DAZN and who put their alliance with DAZN and Eddie Hearn. Them same people on their social media accounts now are tagging in Sky Sports into their tweets and liking Sky Sports' tweets. Do you feel that these people are now thinking, oh, have I backed the wrong horse with Eddie Hearn? Do you think that, John?
Absolutely. I think everyone's seeing Sky Sports fresh coming in now again. DAZN, there's a lot of big hype, but it's not what it seems, what it is. And I think people are realizing that now. There's massive hype behind it, but are they going to deliver? That's what people are seeing now. Sky Sports Fresh, they're gonna take things to the next level. This time around, they're gonna take things to the next level. They're gonna do good fights, good deals, and I think that's what people are realizing. People that have rushed in to sign with DAZN. That's what Eddie Hearn's time. He's still gonna make good fights, do good fights, but his time is a bit rocky at the moment. We'll be in the next few months. I don't think some of the fighters that he signed on, I don't think they're going to get what they really deserve or what they really want to get.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what's happening moving forward. Can I ask you what you think about Lewis Ritson fighting on Sky as well?
Say that again?
Lewis Ritson's going to be fighting on Sky.
That'll be good. That'll be interesting. That'll be very, very interesting. Decent fighter. I can't wait, actually. What's your thought on?
Well, I've heard they aren't going to deal with them, but they're going to be fighting with them. So I think it's good for Lewis Ritson. It was like Eddie Hearn gave up on him. You know what I mean? So I'm glad for Lewis Ritson. He's a nice kid. And it looks like Sky are going to be making some noise. I mean, we've all given Sky stick over years, but it looks like Adam Smith, he's leading the cavalry, isn't he, now at the moment? He's leading the revival. So
well, I think Sky have learned from past mistakes. They've seen things around them, and I think they're just going to tweak, readjust, and reinvent themselves. So that's why I think it's going to be very, very interesting. The fights they're going to bring on, the adjustment they're going to make. It's going to be good for boxing. It's absolutely going to be great for boxing. We're going to see a lot more interesting things with Sky.
Yeah, we could call this video "Bean the Revival" or the Bean the Bean Comeback.
The Bean Comeback. It's good for boxing.
Let me just give a big shout out to this guy who sent me these.
What's that?
Grenade. I thought it said Grenada. It says grenade. They're all right. These after you've been training.
What is it? Is it a shake or?
Yeah, recovery shake.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think about the WBA saying that they're going to get rid of all these interim champions and trinket belts? Do you think it's just lip service they're paying, John?
I hope they do. It's boxing. That side of things with boxing is just very messy. It's just all over the place.
Yeah.
Completely all over the place. It's a complete mess. Keep it simple. Take it back to the 70s, even 80s. You know what I mean? Keep it simple. Interim belts. It's loads of nonsense.
Yeah.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
Boxing needs a big shake-up with the title, with all these titles, all these interim titles. It needs a big shake-up.
It needs something, man. I've been banging on for change for ages, and maybe the fans are starting to listen to what we're all saying because nobody's telling it like a certain few YouTube channels like mine tell it. And I think that it might have just dropped on. I think they might have just looked at what the fans are saying and saying, do you know what? We need to take a good, long, hard look at ourselves, what we're doing with the sport. Do you know what I mean? And
I hope they do. Because that's why boxing is losing a lot of fans and losing it to a lot of to mixed martial arts because everything is kept very simple. You fight. There's no politics. You're gonna fight that guy because that's the best fighter. That's the fight that makes sense. That's what you're gonna fight. That's who you're gonna fight. And that's why UFC and all the MMA is interesting because you get to see that fight. There's no bullshit politics. Excuse my language. It's just straight on.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens moving forward. Do you think that Savannah and Clarissa's a good fight?
I think it's a fight that makes sense. It's a fight that people want to see. Yeah. Shields, good fighter, talks a lot. Savannah, a really decent fighter, complete fighter in my eyes anyway. It'd be interesting to see how Shield gets on with this fight. Because she's been talking a lot. She's been talking a lot.
Yeah.
Savannah's a quiet assassin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doesn't talk that much, but she delivers. So it'd be interesting to see how Shield gets on. I see Savannah winning. I see Savannah edging the fight. It'll be a good fight though. It'll be it'll be a nice tear up.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. What did you think about the action at the weekend? Tommy Fury against that Anthony Taylor.
Tommy Fury, he's impatient. He's just rushing. I think they're rushing him. I mean, there's something there. There's something there, but he needs to craft that art like his brother did. He needs to really take his time. I don't think there should be any rush. I think they're rushing him. There's a lot of pressure on him. And the fight over the weekend was okay. He was just rushing, a bit clumsy, a bit robotic at times. And I think he's too big. I think he's too muscular. I think that's going to play... that's going to have a major effect later on once it starts to fight decent opponents. Once it starts going to longer distance, I think that's going to play a major factor.
Well, yeah.
I think John is slightly rushing him. I think they're slightly rushing him. I think there's something there. There is something there. But on Saturday, it just seems that he wants to prove something to everyone. And I think he's just not using the basics, not using his jab enough. It's not, he's moving a little bit, but just not using the jab. And if he uses his jab, he'll be finishing those kind of fights earlier. If he's setting up the jab, it's faint, like his brother, he'll be finishing those fights earlier.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But there's something there. But I just think that he's so desperate to fight. What's his name? Logan. Was it Logan Paul or Paul Logan?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. But Jake Paul will beat him.
Yeah, I believe
as much as what people say, he's a very clinical fighter. He's very clean. The way he moves. He's very uses his jab well. His 1-2s are nice and neat, crisps. That's why I think that Jake Paul will beat him.
Yeah, you're probably right there, mate.
Muscles don't win fights. Fury's got a nice physique. His build's got, it's got muscle. It doesn't win fights.
Well, Fury's a cruiserweight. That kid is just fought what were you, a welter like middle, and he couldn't get him out there. So maybe there's a problem with his punching power. Maybe he can't bang.
It's that. The kid was a sparring partner to Jake Paul. Look at the size difference. That's when you look at size difference and the bigger guy's not using a jab, not utilizing the jab enough. It pisses me off because you've got the height. It just stick that jab in his face, and then the 1-2. I mean, he just wasn't using anything. Definitely a question mark on the puncher power, and I think he was gutted and frustrated that he couldn't put the kid away.
Yeah. What do you think the role for the boxing board of control should be now that boxing's in disarray? What should the board do? What do they need to do now?
Let me tell you something, Pocket. The board are never going to do anything. There's too much money. They're greedy. Too much politics. Wherever there's politics, there's money. The boards are not going. They're just going to do lip service. They're not going to do anything. There's too much backhanders going on. Nothing is going to change. That's why boxing is what it is now. It's a complete mess.
Do you know
too
what?
Much money.
Yeah. Who would you like to see the board to go? Who would you like to see the board go to now for advice?
For advice. See, that question is very hard because whoever it goes to, there's always going to be money. Greed is the problem we have in boxing. Greed. Whoever it goes to, once there's money involved, it becomes a lip service. Look, the intention might be good at first, the intention might be good at first, but once money gets involved, everything changes. That's the problem.
You know what I'd like to see the board go to? To get advice. Go to Adam Booth. We need to go to Adam Booth. Get Adam Booth on board. Somebody who's seen it all, been there, done it, got T-shirt. Get some advice off him instead of these 70-odd-year-old men that are stuck in a time warp. That's what I think. They need to get some independent advice. That's what they need, independent advice.
Absolutely. It just, yeah, I see what you mean, but again, it's just the greed. The greed. That's the problem.
That's what I want. That's what I want to see. I just want to see somebody give them some advice and poke them in the right direction. Take them into the right direction, because we're going around in circles with it, with judging and drug testing and fighters not being paid at board doing note about it, ticket deals, and I could go on forever and ever and ever. All them board members do is shut about in shirt and ties at these events, thinking the big stars. It's all paid for by the promoters, which is paid for by the fans. They're on a free jolly up, and that's all it is. And it needs shaking up from the top to the bottom.
Yeah, but you're right. That structure is it's full of 60 years old and stuck in their ways, and it's they need some young, fresh people in there with fresh approach, new vision that could bring something new to the table. And look out for these fighters as well. Most important, look out for these fighters as well. They're putting their livelihood on the line. They're putting their life on the line. And this, as you said, these guys, major fights, you see them with their ties, suit and booted, walking around like, dogs, bullocks, but doing fuck all for boxing.
Yeah.
And for these fighters.
Yeah. Oscar De La Hoya's coming back. What do you think to that?
Money. Book is money.
Yeah.
This is money. All these guys, you're going to have seen a lot of these guys coming back. It's payday. David Hay was back. When is his fight?
David Hay's, it's a couple of weeks, I think, isn't it? Something like that. 25th of September, same night as Joshua, is it? Or something around about that time.
Look at him. It's payday. It's payday. That's why all these guys are coming back. And there's going to be more. Down the line, there's going to be more coming out.
Yeah.
I think Shannon Briggs, he wants to, there's a fight brewing between him and, I can't remember who it is now, someone else. But there's going to be more. It's payday. That's why all these guys are coming back. And if Oscar wins this fight, guess who he's going to be calling out? Canelo.
Oh.
Watch. Just watch. Just watch. Watch.
He'll get paid. He'll get paid against him, won't he?
This is it. Boxing is just going in a complete down spiral.
Well, in my opinion, the quality control of the TV companies is the problem, because they should be saying things like, we shouldn't be putting Canelo Oscar on, or Roy Jones Mike Tyson, or David A. Joe Fournier. Why would you want to put things like that on? Because they've created a bit of pretend beef on social media, and then these people start getting millions. It's all wrong, It's all wrong.
Well, it's that, and you got to remember, when these fights are made, there's a huge machine behind it. There's a huge marketing behind it. When you market a fight well, this is what you get. You get interest. You get people that are intrigued. You get people that want to watch.
Yeah.
That's what happens. All right, you might not get people that pay for it, but people want to watch next day. Like a lot of the fights some of the fights I don't watch, but I'll watch it next day. But that's what you get. It's huge marketing behind it. As much as it might look like, it's just a fake Instagram thing of him sparring, or it's all thoughts behind it. They've sat down and they said, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to market it. We're going to make it go viral. There's a machine behind it. It's not as simple as it looks. It's not just, oh, we're just in the gym and we're just sparring and we're just going to, there's a thought process behind it. And that's where it is. And once you start to get that momentum, once you start to get that hype, once you start to get people interested, there you go. And that's what happened with Mike Tyson's one. Oh God, have you seen how fast he is? Really? Really? You're telling me he could keep that speed for 4 or 5 rounds? No way. Yes, maybe a few seconds. And that's where it is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money in it now. There's a lot of money in it, Porky.
Yeah. Where do you see Anthony Yarde going from here?
Yarde. Good prospect. I just think he needs to change trainer. That's what I think. I've always said he needs to just get out of his comfort zone. Great, good fighters. There's so much potential in Yarde, but just needs to get out of the comfort zone. You know, a lot of these guys like to just sit in their comfort zone. I want to stay with this trainer. Get out of your comfort zone. Go somewhere else, and push yourself. When you're outside your comfort zone, you see a lot more things come out of you. Yeah. I heard he hardly used to spar. Well, go to a place where you're going to start sparring and you're going to be sparring people that are better than you, people that are going to really want to hurt you. That's what he needs. But huge potential though. But again, if he loses his next fight, it starts to go down as well for him. All the hype. Because there was a point when there was a big hype about him. Now everyone's like just watching to see what he's going to do next.
Yeah.
But he needs to get out of his comfort zone. Be in a gym where he's not the best fighter there. There's better fighters than him. Big fighters that are pushing him. And then we might see something different. But being around, you could just tell he's comfortable where he is. I watch all the sport. You can just tell. And I'm a big fan that once you're too comfortable, it's not good. You need to be on your toes. You need to be pushed. You need to be around fighters that are better than you. Fighters that are going to throw you around. You need to be around them. And that's how you're going to improve.
Do you feel that Anthony Yarde's a protected fighter?
He is. I think everyone has got the mindset of trying to protect a fighter like the golden egg, Anthony Joshua. But Anthony Joshua is one of a kind. That's a serious golden egg that you protect your life because the money, financial gain behind it's immense. Yeah. I think they try to protect him. But one thing is protecting you and one thing is delivering. The thing is you protect Joshua, he delivers. That's the difference. He delivers. Wherever anyone's got to say about Joshua, he would deliver.
Yeah.
Even though they've protected him against certain fighters that could trouble him a little bit, but he still delivers. Yarde needs to deliver. Next fight, he needs to deliver.
Yeah.
Because I think Tunde's got the same mindset of trying to protect him like Joshua. I know that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Do you feel that Anthony Yarde beats bouts?
No.
Do you feel that Anthony Yarde beats Callum Johnson?
That would be an interesting fight. That'd be a very good test for him. See, those two fighters you mentioned now, that would be a very interesting fight. He needs to clear those type of guys out of the way, and then we can see what he's really about. I think problem is they get too overhyped and it goes to their head. That's the problem with some of these fighters. Yeah. Everybody's in a rush to just get this thing. Everyone's in a rush. No one's studying their craft. No one's learning the craft. No one is doing their homework enough. When you look at the 60s, 70s, 80s, those fighters, they did their homework. They studied their craft. They took their time. Every fight, there's always something new they're learning. There's always something new they're bringing to the table. So that way they have so many gears when they fight. When they could adjust to different fighters. So obviously style makes fights. So by learning and trying different things out, you'll be able to put it to use when you're fighting. But these fighters of today just want to jump from zero to the main to a title shots, but you've hardly had any fights.
Yeah,
you know, you fought in one gale throughout the last 6 fights. It's like Danny Dubois over the weekend as well.
Yeah.
What did he do different? Nothing. It's just the same thing he does in all his fights. So that's why I always go back to Tyson Fury. Every fight, that guy's always doing something different.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's always doing, you know what? He's always doing different. Any young fighter, I always say, look, just study this guy. Just study this guy. A complete fighter. Shift scare, his feint, his ring IQ, his boxing IQ, his jab, the way he moves, he throws you off constantly. Just when you're about to adjust or adapt into it, he just changes constantly. And that's an art. That's the art side of boxing.
Well, steady there, mate. You were losing your mind there.
but you could tell Tyson puts in the work.
You reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. Even when you could just tell, even just the way he moves, everything, it puts in the work. It'd be very hard for.
Hey?
As long as he stays disciplined, very hard for someone to beat him.
He don't need to put in the work, not when his dad's Big John Fury. Okay, then we'll finish off on this. Does Joshua beat Usyk this month? Yes or no?
I think he does.
Does Tyson Fury fight Wilder next month? Yes or no?
Yes.
You think he fights him? Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's had enough time now.
Who's his trainer? Who's his trainer on the night?
I think what's his name? What's his name now? What's the last trainer for his last fight against Fury?
Sugar Hill.
Wilder. Sugar. I think he still has Sugar on the corner.
I think so, but all that about they've got rid of Sugar Hill and that, it's just mind games in my opinion. I don't believe a word to say.
Look, the mind game starts now. Tyson is about the mind game. You got to remember, it's boxing psychology. I'd say about 80%, and some people would say more is more about psychology once you get into your opponents, and that's what he did with Wilder. He got into Wilder's head. He broke Wilder down. And I think they're gonna start throwing all kind of things out. Oh, he's not training. He's not there. And then the night comes, and Wilder's just gonna be like, "Wow, these guys, I don't know, is even better than the last time." And that's what's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. That's what's gonna happen. I think the last time they were meant to fight last, what was it, this month or last month they were meant to fight? Tyson Fury and Wilder.
Wasn't it July, I think, wasn't it?
July. I don't think mentally he was ready. And I said it when that fight was announced. I don't think mentally he was ready. I think now he's ready. I think mentally he was ready for Joshua fight. He was 100% ready for that fight. I think now he's ready for Wilder. And I think he'll beat Wilder. I think same fashion. I think he would get knocked down. He would get back up at some point. Mark my words, he would get knocked down, get back up. I think Wilder, we can't sleep on Wilder as well. He's hungry. Whether he's learned enough, he's had as good self-reflection on areas to improve and could bring that to the table under pressure. I don't know with Wilder, but I know we can't sleep on him. Again, Wilder's one of those fighters again. If he was using his jab, he would be putting these guys out. The night would be a lot more easier if he was using his jab, because the jab would just be setting things up for him. But if he goes around, if he thinks he could come to this fight holding that big right hand, looking for Wilder with that right hand, he's gonna get put to sleep. He's gonna get put to sleep.
It's gonna be interesting, isn't it?
It's gonna be interesting. And what's your thoughts on the fight?
I think that if Tyson's not on his A game, he gets took out. But if he's on his A game, he takes Wilder out.
Yeah, I think September. Yeah, last month, I think he was partying in Vegas. He was having a good time. He wasn't ready for the fight. I think he was mentally preparing for Joshua, and I think he must have before, Joshua fight would be a walk in the park and just partying in Vegas. He was out. We all saw it. He wasn't ready, but I think this time he's ready for Wilder.
Good.
Who do you think is going to win the Joshua and Usyk?
I think Usyk beats him.
Knockout, points?
Knockout late on. I think it's a very easy night's work for Usyk. The referee is going to play a big part in that fight, in my opinion, because he's going to get no favours, Usyk, in this country. I think the referee is going to play a big part, and hopefully it don't go to the judges. But if it does, they'll save Joshua, I think. But
look, Porky, like we said earlier, everybody's been paid. Referee, everybody's been paid.
Yeah. We know what.
Look, if you're a referee as well, there's money in the pocket for you.
Yeah.
Everybody's been paid. He's a golden egg. People keep forgetting Joshua's a golden egg. That fight goes 12 rounds. You said it's Joshua's fight. All they say to Joshua is just make it go 12 rounds. You can't knock him out. Yeah. Because everybody's getting paid. You're right. Usyk needs to knock him out clean. He needs to knock him out. But it'd be a good fight. Usyk moves well, uses angles well. Whether his punches are strong enough to upset Joshua, but we also know that Joshua's got a very is very chinny. Say if he could connect, it could put Joshua away. But if Joshua uses his size, bullies him, moves, because the reason why I could see where you're coming from is Joshua's very stationary. He just stands there, just throws a jab like a robot. He just stands there. Where if you stand there with Usyk, he's going to destroy you. Like anything that's moving, it's harder to hit. See, that's why I think what you're saying I could see where you're coming from. Like Joshua might get knocked out. But I want Joshua to win the fight. I know you're not a big fan of Joshua. I want Joshua to win the fight. How he does, I don't know. As long as he's not stationary, he really needs to rough up Usyk. Rough him up, bully him, hold him, tie him up. And I think that's the only way Joshua could win the fight. Go to the body as well. You don't see, another thing you don't see a lot of these fights, they don't go to body enough. Someone that's moving that much, you got to slow him down. How do you slow him down? Go to the body. Eventually, you get him. Round 6, they start to slow down. Then he becomes stationary, and that's the target for you to hit. Then, but that's what I'm saying. Style makes fights, and it depends what strategy they're going in with. That would be my strategy. We'll go to the body. We'll slow him down because he's moving. He's going to be moving too much. And Joshua can't keep up with that pace. Slow him down. Go to the body. Just attack the body. And eventually the hand will start to drop and then you set him up. So it depends what strategy they've got in line for Usyk. But I know that Usyk is going to be moving a lot and he's going to be throwing that jab. He's going to be using that ring a lot. It might overwhelm Joshua because of the way he moves. He's going to be bouncing like a light heavy. And just sticking that jab in Joshua's face and just moving and just feint and just all that kind of stuff. That's what he's going to be doing all night long.
Okie dokie then. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, John. You've been a real addition to the Porky Express train.
No worries. Maybe you should go into management and manage some fighters, mate.
Nah, I've got wrong temperament, me, for that, I'm afraid. Oh no,
because you've got a good heart for these fighters, and I just think they need. It's hard to get genuine person that really cares about a lot of these fighters, especially the up and coming one. And a lot of them are just there's no guidance. They've got the promoters, there's the manager, and conflict of interest. There's so much bullshit that goes on.
Listen, mate, you can be involved in boxing and you can get too close to fighters, and then before you know where you are, you're falling out with people and you're taking sides with fighters. And obviously, everybody knows I took sides with Josh and Mick Whale, and because I signed Josh for Dennis, and you can fall out with people. Oh yeah, you can, look. I'm not going to go into detail about it. It's all it passed, but I always side with fighters because they're the ones in the ring, aren't they? Taking the blows. The promoters are not taking the blows, but sometimes the promoters are taking the blows off the fighters outside the ring. So it's a two-way street, and both can be as bad as each other. But I'm all for the fighters, me, and the safety of the fighters is very important as well. But that's another story. But listen, I've got to go because I've got something coming on at 10. But listen, John, thanks for coming on. You've been brilliant. This will be out today at some point this afternoon.
No worries, mate. Catch up. Have a good day and a good weekend, yeah?
You have a good weekend. Take care, John.
No worries. Take care, mate.
Bye.
Care.
Bye.
God bless. Bye.
That was John from London. He loves his boxing and he's a good guy. Speaks very eloquently, never swears. Is very respectful, and I like him. So that's about it. It's 10 to 10, and I've got Ryan Rowlandson coming on. He's going to have a little chat with me. He's a former Dave Caldwell fighter, so this is going to be interesting, isn't it? So peace out, keep on trucking, keep supporting boxing. Don't have nightmares. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment and press the join button down there for our members area. 10 extra videos per month. I haven't done any for September yet, but I will do at some point this month. All right. Peace out.